All right, here's another story for you guys and gals, and this one actually is true. This is about a time whenever I had to drive myself from Florida all the way out to California. It's about a 2.5 day drive. When I was in the Marine Corps, I had to report to my duty station, which was 29 Palms, California, out in the middle of the desert in California. I left on like a Tuesday and I needed to be there on a Friday. It was the middle of the summer, so it was really hot. I had to drive on Interstate 10 from Florida all the way out to California. My car was a 1984 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme. It was a beautiful blue, but the air conditioning didn't work, so I had to roll the windows down. I had to have a gallon of fresh water and to keep me hydrated, and a 12 pack of Mountain Dew to keep me awake on the drive all the way out there. Um, and so I drove through Louisiana, Alabama, Texas, all those states. And then I got to Arizona about, I don't know, about halfway through Arizona uh, on Thursday of that week. I remember I had to be there by Friday morning at about 9 o'clock. And got the window rolled down, my arm hanging out the window, some music playing, and then I start hearing this clunk, 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 clunk noise going on, and realize there's something wrong with one of my tires. And within seconds, boom, my tire burst. The radials had worn down and run through it. I'm able to steer it over to the side of the road. Well, I'm out in the middle of the desert, and I haven't seen a car pass by me in hours. And I'm look to the west, no cars coming. Look to the east, no cars coming. I'm thinking to myself, oh no, this is not good, because now I've got only about a half gallon of water left, got no food, and it's about 115 degrees out there now. I don't know what to do. Uh, I can start putting the spare tire on, but of course, look, my spare tire's all messed up. I hadn't replaced it like I needed to a couple years ago, or from a couple years before, whenever I had messed it up then. So I'm sitting there and I'm waiting and waiting and waiting and thinking somebody's got to come along. And then I hear this noise. Sounds like a truck, but it's rolling out of control, and it's coming from around this mountain on the interstate, and it's coming right at me. And then I see that a jackrabbit runs across the middle of the road, and then really makes the truck go out of control. He starts rolling, and it's one of those big, like it's hauling like this cylinder. And as it rolls, I start to see on the side of the cylinder it says Aunt Jemima syrup. So it's a truck full of syrup, and it's rolling right at me. There's a big boulder on the side of the road right in front of me, and I'm thinking I am going to get crushed by this truck rolling at me. And every time it rolls, I see Aunt Jemima syrup, Aunt Jemima syrup, Aunt Jemima syrup, and I'm thinking I'm going to die. Right before it runs into me, it hits that boulder, and that boulder runs a big old hole, just tears a big old gaping hole through the side of that truck. All that syrup just spills all over my car and me. And now I'm thinking, when things couldn't get any worse, now I'm covered in syrup out in this 100-degree heat. Only a half gallon of water. I need to be at 29 Palms, California by 9 o'clock the next morning. Now what do I do? I'm sitting there for about 30 minutes, and then I start hearing this noise, this buzzing noise. And I'm thinking, that sounds like a bee. And then I'm looking up, and I see coming around this big old mountain now is this big old black cloud. And as it gets closer and closer and closer to me, I realize it's not a black cloud. It's a cloud of bees buzzing. And all those bees then come straight down at me, and they slam into my car. They're all stuck onto the car, and they all start sucking up that syrup. And as they are sucking up that syrup, they start flapping their wings. As they flap their wings, guess what my car starts doing? There are millions of them. They start lifting my car up off the ground. I realize this may be my only way to get to 29 Palms, California. I jump through my open window, and just in time, as it's about 5 feet off the ground, and And as I jump in, they lift me up 100 yards, 200 yards, 300 yards, 400 yards, 500 yards up into the sky. They're just flapping their wings as hard as they can, sucking on that honey or on that syrup. And as they do, they're moving west. I couldn't believe it. They're taking me towards where I need to go. And so literally go through the night into the next morning, and I'm watching my watch, but then I'm thinking, oh, it's about 8:30 now. I don't know. We've crossed the border of California. How am I going to get down? As they continue to move, they're sucking up that honey, and I start to realize that through the night, as some of them sucked up that honey, they start popping off. They start losing their grip on the car. And so now instead of 1 million bees, we're down to just, 900,000, 800,000. And now we're losing bees as we go. And as we lose bees, the car starts floating down slowly and softly towards the earth. As we get closer, it's 8:30 now, 8:45, and I see the bees popping off, plop, 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 buzz, 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 and they're floating me down, and then I see in the distance, I cannot believe it, but the big sign, 29 Palms, California, home of Marine Corps Marine Corps Battalion. As we get closer and closer, that car starts to lower and lower and lower itself. Those bees are popping off, and slowly but surely, right at the gates of Marine Corps Base, 29 Palms, California. I couldn't have been any luckier. At all. Those bees had saved my life. That syrup had saved my life. So again, when life gives you lemons, again, make lemonade, right, guys and gals? I hope you're doing well during this time of the quarantine. Hope you guys are being really good to your mom. Do everything she tells you. We'll talk to you later. Bye.